because my family had that history. So being influenced by my father, who was an engineer, I wanted to get into engineering. So I actually appeared for the entrance exam for Delhi College of Engineering. I scored amongst the top 1% there, and I got into a branch that was that is considered to be amongst the best at the college. So, but once I joined the branch Electronics and Communication, it was very early that I realized this was not for me. So though I performed well in the subjects of Electronics and Communication, my affinity was not towards it. It being one of the best branches, and through the word of mouth publicity, I took up the best that was being offered to me. But understanding very early that it's not something that I want to get into, I realized my interest was lay with computer engineering. I actually started working on gaining knowledge on computer subjects myself, and I actually competed for a lot of jobs with the computer science students. And I was shortlisted for a number of jobs along with them.
But finally, you studied with electronics and communication.
Yes, I went through with electronics and communication because
the course according to probably taking the electives also.
Yes, that is exactly what I did. Amongst the electives, I chose all the electives which were more inclined towards the computer engineering side. Okay. And in fact, on one of the electives, I topped the college.
First, I want to hear a situation from you in which, for example, your junior is not performing at first. I assume that you lead a team, since you said that you are a project or a delivery manager, and he's not performing. And how have you handled it? So, if you can, cite one example out of your work, will be great.
Right. There have been a number of examples. They've been an example where there've been a case where two of the resources on my project were not actually performing well, and that was purely out of their ability. In this situation, what we did was, first of all, I gave very explicit feedback to the members on their performance, and we realized that to align towards the project goals, it was very necessary that they start performing. And for that, what we did was we chalked down a plan, a 3-month plan for them. Since the performance was below standard, we chalked out a performance improvement plan for them. And we set specific dates and specific objectives of that plan. Even after the completion of that plan, the team members had actually not ramped up. And so instead of just rolling them out from my team, and I did not just roll them out of my team, because had I rolled them out of my team, they would actually have gone to some other team within my organization, and someone else would have faced the same issue as I did. So failing to actually improve their performance, we had to roll them out of Mindtree itself. So that was one of the cases where we were not able to improve the performance. But at the same time, there have been cases where we have improved the performance of few team members also. For example, on one of my projects in IATA, there was a fresher who had joined from campus batch, and he was not able to ramp up very quickly with the processes or the technologies that we were actually using on our project, and I had the constraint of having that person only on my project. So what we did was we employed a number of things. We employed peer programming for him to help him ramp up on the techniques in which programming is done, which was basically his core responsibility. So we ensured peer programming, and through peer programming, there was a mentor assigned to that person who actually saw how the developments were happening, and this was a very frequent activity. So every two days or every 4 days, probably twice a week, the person actually took a status check of all the activities that the fresher was actually conducting. Then post that, there were obviously trainings that we facilitated for the person, but we realized trainings generally did not bring about short-term, immediate responses, immediate productivity. So for immediate productivity, one thing one technique that I've actually used a lot is when someone is not performing well, go the opposite way and give more responsibility. So this is something that I did for that person. I explicitly told him that I want him to be more accountable. I want him to take over these responsibilities, and that no one else will be backing him upon those responsibilities. So what definitely it did was that it made the person put in extra effort from his side. So I always propagated this fact that if you are learning something extra, you have to put in extra effort, which is apart from your mainstream project effort. So the person actually to not actually get into a precarious situation of being accountable for something not done, started putting in extra effort, and that is how basically it improved.
Okay, Mitra. So one more question is that what in the work or at office you are most proud of? What act or what some task which you have conducted which you are most proud of?
I think my PSA project is something that I'm the most proud of.
PSA project.
Yes, because this, as I told you, was one of the toughest assignments, and this particular account was in red since a couple of years. So bringing this project out of red in green was one of my main achievements. On this, when I had joined the project, I realized that there was, though it seemed that the team was a unit, one unit itself, though it seemed from outside that they were one unit because they have been actually working since last 1.5 years. But I realized that was not the case, because in the initial meetings itself, I realized that there was more of cutting off each other's ideas rather than building up on someone's opinion. So because of which I realized the team collaboration was quite low. So that was one of the things that I realized from my initial brainstorming meetings with the team. Then another thing that was very explicitly told by the team was that they did not have confidence on the management team, which was a very strong feedback, because they said that during negotiations for previous sub-project, the management team did not support them at all, and the client actually and they had very rough time with the client, and actually client proceeded with what, or rather everything was agreed as per what the client said. So due to that one very strong case, the team felt that the management team does not support them. So that was one aspect, and another thing was that because of a lot of period without any major success, the motivation of the team was not there. They were really not that motivated. They've been working for last 1.5 years without strong successes, without big successes. So something to look up to was not there, because of which the motivation had really fallen down. So on this project, apart from obviously bringing about engineering process changes, what I did was I realized that bringing about team collaboration was very important. So I started with something that we called as hot seat team lunches, in which what we did was